Good morning. Good morning. So let me ask you a question. Do you respect money? Do you respect the money in your broker account? Because I guarantee you, if you don't, it's not going to respect you. And I guarantee you, if you don't, you're absolutely going to be losing more trades than you win. End of story. So good morning. My name is Judy V, and I'm co-founder of the Tribe of Traders and author of this book, The Truth About Trading. Everything you absolutely need to know in order to be successful consistently and profitable, more importantly, in your trading. So today I wanted to speak about an issue that a lot of people have in their trading, is that when moment they put their money into the broker account, a couple of things happen. One, they have a dream, a hope, a desire, a goal for financial freedom, and wealth beyond their wildest dreams. Okay, possibly that's how you felt, right? Incredible wealth, absolutely phenomenal opportunity, a lot of hope, a lot of excitement, infatuation even, okay? And then what starts to happen is you start taking a few trades, and yes, you might get some beginner's luck and be unlucky enough to win the first few trades. And that's the point in time which your brain says you've cracked the market. All right, and you've got it, and you know what's what. Only then what happens is you start losing trades. And then you start getting emotional and start wanting to make back that lost money in your account that you put into the broker account, full of hope, full of dreams, full of fantasies. And then you start jumping all over the place, thinking, well, that was wrong, maybe this is right. And that doesn't work. And then you go and jump somewhere else and think, well, maybe that was wrong and this is right. And you jump somewhere else and over and over and over again until you're absolutely spinning out of control to the point in which you actually lose detachment from the money in your broker account. You become totally dissociated with it. It is no longer a sum of money that represents your dreams. It is now something that you've, on a level, in order to protect yourself, in order to not take responsibility even, possibly, you've actually written it off, which makes it easier to continue the gambling style of trading, the hope style of trading, okay? And when you start doing that, that's when you start losing respect for the money in your account. Because I guarantee you, the money that you're earning each and every month that goes into your own bank account, you won't treat it like that. You won't just fritter it away. So let's say, for example, you might be putting £10 on a trade, £50, £100, whatever it might be you're putting on a trade. There's no ways you're going to just walk down the street and just allow £10 or 20 or 50 or £100 or euro or dollars or rands, whatever currency it is, to just simply fall out of your pocket. You're going to feel it. You're going to be cross with yourself. You're going to be pissed. Okay? But when we do that in our trading all the time. Because we're revenge trading, we're gambling, we're hope trading. Oh my God, hope trading. I mean, that is the death knell of profitable trading. That happens when you start losing attachment to the money in your account, in your broker account. When you stop treating it like real money, like it's in your own personal, private bank account. So every time you place a trade, what is going through your head? Do you relate to the money you're putting on the trade as money that you have in your pocket? Because if you don't respect the money, if you don't respect your capital, it is not going to respect you. End of story, period. So when you're putting on a trade, what is going through your mind? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever gone to a store to buy a television? Think about it this way. Have you ever gone to a store to buy a television? I mean, geez, I haven't bought a TV in about 15 years or thereabouts, right? But Even when I did, right, television, the widescreen, HD, was all just coming out, right? I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like now, right? I mean, the options that are available, I can't even imagine. I'd be surprised if you can't get holographic TVs by now. But anyway, I mean, the range of options you have in terms of sound and screen and size and curvature and all this sort of stuff, you're going to do your research. And when you finally hand over that money to purchase the television, you are going to be 100% sure that that's the one you want. Okay, because you respect the money you're handing over. Right? You know that tomorrow you can't just change your mind, or next week or next month, because you just hoped it might be the best TV or hoped it might be the right one for you. No, you'd have done your research. The same if you're buying a camera, the same if you're buying anything. You're going to do your research. You're going to make sure that when you hand over that money, what you're getting back in fair exchange meets all your needs and all your desires. The same needs to go for trading. There is no difference. But what I started with at the beginning is exactly the sort of pattern that happens for so many traders, which leads them to dissociating themselves from the money in their broker account, which allows them then to continue with hope, revenge, gamble, trading. Respect the money in your account. The moment you put it in, the moment you put that money into your broker account, that's still your money. It's still money as if it was in your own private bank account. If it was in your own piggy bank little thingy on your desk, if it was in your wallet, in your purse, it's the same money. It's still your money. When you put it into your bank account, into your broker account, there's no difference. You need to treat it as such. You wouldn't walk down the street and allow it to fall out your pocket. You wouldn't walk into a television shop and buy the first TV. Thank you, Patricia. It is a good one, isn't it? I just thought about it as I was talking, the example of the TV. But it's the same thing, because I know when I bought a camera a little while ago, I did the same thing. I really went into a lot of effort to research the exact type of camera I wanted. The lens and the body and all these different component parts, and what I could add to it, the type of lenses that I could add to it as I grew in my passion in photography. It's the same thing. It's the very same thing as the money in your broker account. There's no difference, and that we need to feel the same as we would the moment we're handing over money for the television, as we are handing over money to enter into a trade. We need to feel the same level of connection, the same level of comfort, the same level of fair exchange. Very importantly, the same level of fair exchange. The moment we lose that, the moment we stop being attached, the moment we stop respecting the money in the account, and the moment we stop, I suppose, caring really about the quality of the trades that we take. And the reason that split happens is because, one, the moment when we're putting funds into the broker account, we have a fantasy of what it is that this is going to give us in our life. We all, I know from my experience, having spoken to hundreds of traders, is that when they got into trading, they had this fantasy of making 20 million, 30 million. I've had people even say to me $1 billion. All right, $1 billion. Yeah. The numbers show that it might be possible if you're starting off with $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 in your account. Yeah, maybe you get to $1 billion in time. But what is the likelihood of that happening? What is the likelihood of you putting £500 in and getting 10 million? What is the likelihood? Over how long? Because you need to be the person that can handle, relate to, not just in terms of being able to physically deal with that sort of money, but emotionally be able to relate to it. Why do you think so many lottery winners end up broke? Because they're not the person they need to be to manage that level of wealth. And that is why when we can't relate to it, we have a fantasy, but we can't relate to that number, That is why we don't believe in it. That's why we start believing that trading's too good to be true, and then we set out to prove it. That's the way our amygdala works. That's the way the hindbrain works. That's exactly what happens, right? So then you start trading, you put the money in, you've got this fantasy, it's not related to reality, and it's certainly not related to how your life is, so it doesn't reflect what it is you would love in your life, right? Your life, the life that you would absolutely love to live, and the life that you were born to live, does not necessarily require 50 million in the bank, right? All right, so why would you want to go after it? So that's the first issue. And the next issue is not being able to relate to it. So it's a fantasy number out there. Okay, so when it's a fantasy number, you can't relate to it, and you're going to set about proving it right. You're right that it's not possible, right? That's the first issue. But then you've got some beginner's luck that comes into play. A lot of people get this and they win a few trades and they see your potential and think, well, hold on a second, maybe it's not a fantasy, maybe it is real, maybe I can do this, the beginner's luck, and then that beginner's luck runs out and then you start chasing your tail. All the onslaught of emotions that we go through as new traders when we're not properly prepared in terms of mindset, in terms of practicalities, it sets us up for disaster, and it sets us up for not respecting the money in the broker account. And that becomes then gambling money, essentially. Because if you don't respect the money, it's not going to respect you. That is why it's so important that when you put money into a broker account, there are a couple of things that you'll be very wise to do. One is to acknowledge and understand that that is wealth building money. It's as if you're putting money into a pension every single month, except it's you that's going to be growing it, not some nameless, faceless corporate. Okay, it's you that's going to be growing it. So you attach yourself to it in terms of taking responsibility for that. The second thing is to have a target that's real, a target that will change your life, but is real, a target that you can relate to. It's so important. And then each and every month, top it up. Physically put money into the account every single month. It makes a massive difference. It's part of your wealth building. You'll be less likely to allow 10, 20, 50, 100 pounds fall out of your pocket all the time when you're constantly topping it up. Okay, respect the money in your account and it will respect you. Imagine you're buying a television each and every trade you take. Do you feel good about it? Does it feel right? I had a conversation with somebody this morning at 6 o'clock this morning saying to me, we were talking about the past 3 weeks of trading in June was fantastic. Some people have already made their target already, just trading on one instrument, which is brilliant. And then I said to people, I trust, this is in the tribe, and we were trading our Pogo and Bugsy, and I said, I trust nobody took that pound Swiss from 2 weeks ago, and a couple of people did, and I said, why? We went through it, and said, where's the setup? Because I knew that there was something that would tempt people to take it, and but where's the setup? And one guy actually came back to me and he said he was wary of it. Well, let me ask you a question. How often do you take trades that you're wary of? Would you buy a TV if you were wary of it? I guarantee you wouldn't. So why take the trade? Okay. Same principle applies, the same emotions, the same philosophy. Trust your intuition, trust your heart, trust what your little inner voice is telling you, and respect the money in your account. And then it will start respecting you, and then it will start compounding, and then it will change your life beyond your wildest dreams. It's not about how you trade, all right? It's about trading in a certain way. And that certain way is what we call modeling the Genius Trading model, which is why I'm starting the Genius Trading membership at the end of this month, where we focus 100% on the mindset that you need to have day by day, day in, day out, every single time you sit and trade. It is the single biggest issue that creates stress and losing and loss for traders is not understanding the impact of mindset on the trading. And that is not your fault. That is because it's not taught in the industry, but we're changing that at the end of this month. So if you want to know more about the Genius Trading membership, post a comment below, or send me a message on Tribe of Traders, and I will send you more info. In the meantime, have a fantastic week. The sun is out in the UK and it's set to be a scorcher week. So have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.